Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, guys. Are you ready to make some controversy? Should we do some clickbait? I am here to articulate why I have decided to never play Frontline again. No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. And this is a bad game. So go ahead and put it down in the comments. Oh, you're just mad, or oh, you just suck. You had a bad game. Yes, I sucked. I had a bad game. But it's not about this game necessarily. Although this game was the catalyst, not the catalyst, but I guess the last straw, the one that made me realize it, right? The one that made me realize why it is that I don't want to play Frontline anymore. First of all, let's up front talk about the good stuff, all right? It's awesome that people like it. I'm glad that they like it and they want to play it. It's not for me. And I'm going to let you know why it's not for me, because I think it's kind of important why it's not for me, because my community is similar in mindset as to what I like about the game. Not all right? We're not all robots. I always get nervous when humans start walking in lockstep, all right? So it's a good thing that not everybody likes the same thing. I get stuck on that tank. So it's great that people like it, and I am very happy that people like it, and I hope they continue to enjoy it. Oh, by the way, did you know that they could hide behind that wall right there and be on the cap? Is that new? Or did I just miss that? That surprised me. I saw a guy who was in the cap. I went around the corner to farm the reduction points, which is apparently what you do in this mode. We'll get to that in a minute. But he was hidden behind that wall, and I couldn't get to him. So don't know if that's new. I may have missed it. So it's great that people like it. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here saying, oh, wargaming, it's terrible, you must remove it. What I would like is to be able to get the prize tanks without playing a mode I cannot stand. I would like that. That would be nice. And I'm going to talk about why I don't like it. And for the most part, I've played it despite not liking it, because there was the calculus between what the incentive was, the tanks and the goodies, and how much pain of a mode I dislike very much was I willing to take. And I think that's hugely important for wargaming to kind of understand, because I think there are a lot of players playing this mode who don't particularly like it, but they're doing it because the incentive's good enough, and that's not great. In my mind, that's not great. Certainly there are people who do just plain old like it. You see that in the forums, I see people comment. I know a lot of the CCs like it, noted. But it's a good thing that we all have different opinions, right? Again, that's the lockstep comment. When people start marching in lockstep, bad things happen. Not to put too big a point on it, because this is just talking about a pixel tank game. And I wanted to articulate this again and kind of let Wargaming know my thoughts on it, and really engage my community and anyone else who wants to watch this on what you think about what I'm going to say here. All right, so fantastic people like it. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Keep on playing. Get your goal. Get your tanks. I wish I could get the tanks without playing this. Why? So that's the next question. Why? Well, I came into this game. I played one before this. I got major. This was on a stream. And then I started playing this one. And then, I was just thinking, well, I'm going to get 2 coins per event. There's going to be 4 Frontline events this time. 2 coins per event. Then maybe I'll play a little bit of Steel Hunter and I'll get my Char Future. That was the goal. The incentive was there. It was enough of an incentive that I decided I would go ahead and do it. But then I got to this game, and what's going to happen here is I'm going to play kind of poorly, number one. But number two, it's going to illustrate everything that drives me crazy about this mode in one very quick, compact game. And it just made me realize that, what am I doing? Why am I submitting myself to this just to get a tank that, while I like, is probably not worth all of the angst that it causes? And I came to realize that it's not. Okay. Now, some of you may go, well, Guido, you're a bit of a muppet. It doesn't take me that long to realize I don't like something. I just don't do it. And it's not a case of me coming here and saying, oh, wargaming's forcing me to do it because the only way to get the tank is to play the mode that you don't like. It's incentive, right? It's incentive in your goals and what you want. And that tipping point came with this game. All right, so what is it that Guido doesn't like about this mode? When I came to World of Tanks 8 years ago or so, it was unlike anything gameplay-wise I'd ever played. I played quite a few FPSs, Battlefield 1942, Call of Duty, lots of stuff like that. And some of them had a lot of these kind of FPS gameplay mechanics. Things like healing healing circles, cooldowns, magic powers. The RTSs did a lot of this kind of thing as well. A lot of these mechanics that a lot of game players like, but I didn't particularly care for. And when I came to World of Tanks, there was none of that. World of Tanks was, bro, you better not make a mistake, because if you make a mistake, you're going to get punished. And I know a lot of people don't like that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I said, wow, this is pretty hardcore, man. Not hardcore in that it's a simulator of a tank. It's not. It's an arcade game. But it's hardcore in that, bro, if you make a mistake, that is going to cost you. You better figure out how to not make a mistake. You better figure out how to work around your mistakes so that if you make one, you can continue to contribute. You better figure out the armor layouts and the tanks and the speeds and the shell velocities. You got a lot to figure out, man. And it was so interesting. There were only 3 kinds of skills. It was repair, camo, and firefighting. And I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The games were 8-10 minutes long, a little bit longer in the past, not quite as long now, but it's what, 5-6 minutes now. So they were compact games. Mistakes mattered. It was interesting. I loved it. It was great. And that's what I came for. And that's what I stayed for. I came for and stayed for that. Now, along the way, Wargaming worked on various modes and tried to do different things. And that's all good, because a company is going to have to try to grow. A company is going to try to have to bring more and different content. They can't really rely on one game all the time. Although, to be honest, Wargaming has done a pretty good job with World of Tanks, keeping it alive and relevant for a very long time. And as far as games go, that's fairly unusual. It really is. I'm going to get popped by this Progetto right here. So good on them, man. And some of that success has been doing other modes, but they really have spent a lot of time on a lot of modes that none of them really worked very well, minus potentially this one. So the things that drew me to World of Tanks were those things. Well, this mode, and what I and I've been thinking about this and I've said it before, but it really just gelled, became crystal clear during this game and that stream, is that this mode is everything that isn't. And I don't like it. So what are those things? Number 1, respawns. I do not like respawns in my tank game. So I guess I'm getting a little bit of an orthodoxy thing here. You know, my old tank game doesn't have respawns. Well, you know, it's the truth. I don't care about respawns. Number 2, magic healing circles. The fact that the mistakes don't matter that much in this, and that is actually one of the things that a lot of people love about it. And I get that. That's good. If that's your thing and you like that, great. For me, though, and for what I fell in love with World of Tanks about, that's not World of Tanks. That's just spastic gameplay flailing around, as far as I'm concerned. Magic abilities. The spotting planes drive me crazy. You have a spotting system, you have scouts, you have camo, and we have the magic airplanes flying around. Oh, but Guido, those are a real thing. Noted. But it's not a simulator, it's just a tank game, and you've got to have these kinds of balance items. And one of the reasons that's here on this map is because it's so big and wide open, you would get people locking down spaces really hard. The only way to peel out some of these TDs is with magic spotting planes, everybody having bloody airstrikes, and everybody having artillery, plus you have several artillery on the board. It's miserable. That kind of mechanic is miserable in a pub match. In 5 minutes, it's extra miserable getting bombed by that crap constantly in Frontlines. And some people like it. It's fun to drop one on people and see all those points come in. But it's a miserable game mechanic. And I just don't like it, to be quite honest. So magic abilities with cooldowns. Leave those in your RTS. Leave those in your other games. For my World of Tanks tank game, I don't like that. So I already talked about mistakes matter. They're faster games in pub. All that kind of thing. Which brings me to kind of the way these Frontline games go. It's all about fighting for the caps. Which I don't want to fight for the caps, man. I want to fight other tanks. The goals, the incentives, and the objectives in this game in Frontline are completely wacky. They're completely wacky. I don't want to have to fight over caps and that be the main goal for me to get my points so I can level up. Either jumping on a cap and brawling on a cap, or attempting to rage onto a cap and reset it. The other gameplay is if you're not raging onto a cap, you're sitting outside of view range, inside of draw distance, sniping from some corner or some little hill on the map. All the best games I've had in Frontline have been from Snipe-a-Lama Ding Dong, hanging out, and Farm-a-Lama Ding Dong, hanging out in that zone between vision and draw range, and sniping the piss out of people who just walk into the view range. And for whatever reason on those games, people didn't happen to come to the spot and light me up. Those were I had the best games. Occasionally thrown in with jumping in a light tank or an EBR or just YOLOing onto a cap and resetting guys. Or this, dropping artillery and airstrikes on guys in the cap. There's nothing compelling about that kind of gameplay. It's just Farm-a-Lama Ding Dang, right? The goals and the incentives in this mode are whack. Which gets me to the last thing right here. Well, two things. Number one, making plays doesn't really matter in this game. Making a play might get you a level along the way, maybe, but it's not going to secure a win for the team. A win for the team, oh, by the way, doesn't matter. And that's probably one of the original and greatest sins of this mode, is that it doesn't matter if you win. Why doesn't it matter if you win? Because you don't get anything for it. Maybe there's a little experience at the end. I don't know. As a general rule, if you're doing well, you win. But that's not true either, because you can get general by losing pretty easily if you Farm-a-Lama Ding Dang all day long. So the goal, what's the goal? It depends, right? If you want to get your rank up, your goal is to make the game last as long as possible and get to general. Until you get general, and then you don't really care. Then you'd really like the game to end, right? So you can move on to the next game because you're trying to maximize what you can do. There's nothing past general. You don't get any more frontline points past that. So you would really like to end. So if you could get to general, rage into the back, and destroy three of the five turrets, you're about as happy as you can get. But if you're the guy who can't quite get to general and someone's raging into the back and taking down the turrets, you're not happy because you want more time. Your goal is completely contrary and separate from the rest of the teams potentially. And because there's so many people with so many goals, it's mass chaos. Then you got the people who just want to win, which I get because you're playing a video game. Why wouldn't you want to win? The way you win is you get into the back and you take down 3 of the 5 turrets. Unless what you're trying to do is farm, and the way you win is getting general or more damage for credit. You see what I'm saying? The objectives, the goals, and the incentives are completely divorced from each other at times. And that's not really good game design, to be quite honest. It really isn't. It makes for chaos, and what it really makes for, in my opinion, is frustration on the player base, which is why I'm not playing anymore. It's just too frustrating. I don't particularly like the gameplay. It's not compelling based on all the farming and the way it's played and fighting over caps and garbage like that. Not really that interesting to me as far as that goes. But when it comes then trying to figure out the goals and what I want to do, very, very, very frustrating, right? If you get stopped from getting from major, you're right at major, you get stopped getting to general because somebody kills the turrets early. That is incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. And you were definitely on track to get your general. And if the game simply always went to 25 minutes, you'd certainly get it. But because now this kind of arbitrary win thing shows up, you don't get it. That sucks. It does. It sucks. And it leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. And if you're a person who just wants to play a video game and win, and people are crapping all over you because you're trying to win and they want extra time, that's also frustrating. Your goals, your objectives, and your incentives have got to be more closely matched, or it's just going to be frustrating for the player base. If everybody's playing for a different reason in a match, wildly different reasons. Sometimes people have the kind of different reasons. I get there's missions and other things in pubs, but in Frontline, it can run the gamut, and it gets nutty. And all you have to do is go to the forum and read a few posts about it, and you'll immediately understand what people are irritated about. And we're getting towards the end here. So there you go. Number one, I'm not calling for its removal. Not that what I call for matters anyway. I like that people like it. I hope they continue. Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. But until the goals, objectives, and incentives get matched up somehow, so that it's not so frustrating and not such a farming exercise, I won't be back. It's just not going to happen. I'd love to get the Char Future. I wish there was a way to get the cool tanks. I wish there was a way to get Clan War tanks without playing Clan Wars, but there's not. So it's just one of those things. Why don't I like it? Because it's everything World Tanks used to not be about. It has incorporated all of those gameplay mechanics that I didn't like, and I was glad World of Tanks did not have. And this is a mode that has it. That makes other people happy. That's good, fine, good deal for them. For me, I'm just articulating why it doesn't appeal to me, precisely because those things are in there. And the last thing then is the goals, objectives, and incentives have got to be worked on. I suppose you can leave it the way it is. If people like it, maybe that's just, too bad, Guido. But I think until you sort that out there, Wargaming, and bring them a little bit more closely in line. Watch this guy shot. Did he shoot before he went behind the rock? Or I'm not really sure what happened right there. Until those get sorted out, I think what you're going to find is you're just going to have a lot of frustrated players with the mode. And no matter how good you make it, because those things are so whacked out, you're just going to have people being angry at other players because of the way they're playing. Because there's no coherent thing that they're all trying to get to. It's just whatever farm-a-llama ding-dang they're on. Whether it's farming wins, whether it's farming credits, whether it's trying to get more rank or whatever. What's interesting, just one more thing about that, is you get people who will get their rank and they're already done. They finish Frontline. They'll keep playing to get credits and things, but what they'll also do is they won't even worry about winning. They'll just rage around in EBRs and try to take down Artie and all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Because it just doesn't matter to them anymore. It just doesn't matter. All right. That's my thoughts on it, man. That's my thoughts on it, guys. Let me know down in the comments how you look at it. More than likely, there's going to be all kinds of different views. I'm sure that... So, people tell me I'm doing it because I want the tank. I'm doing it because I like the gameplay. I'm doing it because it has those game mechanics in it, and I happen to like them as a game player. There's lots and lots of different reasons. Credits, grinding tanks for the extra experience, getting the free tank, just like the gameplay, love respawns, plenty of that kind of thing there as well. It really does run the gamut. But for me, and I think for a decent portion of gamers who came to World of Tanks and were attracted to the gameplay, which did not include these kind of things, and I thought on purpose, for the most part, kind of being just a hardcore PvP game, this one has all those things that I came here to get away from. So the answer for Guido is, you know what, Guido, don't play it. And that's where I am. That's where I am. All right, thanks for coming by, guys. I do appreciate it. Let's see if we can... let's go ahead and go for it, because I wanted to show you the EBR action here as we come around. We just speed this up. Going after Artie because I decided I'm going to quit. Look at that, 82 hit points. What the heck? And then the second one was 262. That was better. And I'm just getting hit by everybody. Boom, boom. I simply cannot miss. I bounced one of them. Watch this. Oh, 52. What? There. Oh, we didn't kill him. Holy cow. Am I going to be able to survive? I'm getting hit. They cannot miss me. There we go. Finally got rid of him. Trying to reload. Run away. Why were there two wheeled tanks just sitting there waiting for me? And I'm done. And as I am done there, I am done here. That's all I've got. We'll see you guys later. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Bye-bye.